a comment in the chat. Tell us where you're joining us from as you join the Brilliant Movement Call. My name is Vanessa Hunter, and I am hosting this evening. Want to welcome all of you new faces, people we've never seen before, and some familiar faces as well. So welcome to the Brilliant Movement Call. This evening, we're going to give you a great sample of what Brilliant is all about. If you have been invited here this evening, it's because somebody sees something in this that they think is a good fit for you. So we're going to be sharing what Brilliant is all about. We are very fortunate this evening. We're going to be playing a video from Graham Cooke, and we're so blessed to have his wife Teresa joining us this evening as well. So Jenny will play a video for you. Teresa will be joining us for a discussion after that video. We'll also be telling you a few things about our Brilliant Circles, and we have Bridget on to share that with us this evening. And then we will tell you a little bit about an upcoming event that we've got going on here in just a couple of weeks. And I will also have Ray Higdon on with us this evening to talk about the Brilliant opportunities. So lots going on this evening, lots to get excited about. But let's go ahead and kick it off, Jenny, with you and the video.
We have the same relationship with the Father that Jesus has in heaven. That's why we're put into Christ in the first place. That's what it means to become Christ-like. We become like him in all the ways that he is, in his thinking, in his perception, in his language, in the way he moves out of his heart, in the way that he is just so full of wisdom and grace and mercy and kindness, in the power that he displays in the earth, in the authority that's in his name. In all things, we are becoming Christ-like, but especially too in the area of being a joint heir with him in the things of God. A Christian is a person who cannot contemplate a day without favor. That's our identity. Not even going to go there. Can't contemplate a day without favor. It's a divine advantage to be in Jesus. Not only that, you must see it this way. It is your birthright to live in favor. You are birthed into favor. You are birthed into intentionality. You are birthed into promise. You're birthed into divine advantage. It is your birthright. It is a special privilege that comes to us not because of our performance as believers, but because of our placement in Jesus. All favor is already attached to you. So nudge your neighbor and saying, I can see favor sticking up on your shoulder. So listen. Some people are going, I can see favor, and it looks like this. It's got blonde hair and lipstick. Listen, you don't have a chip on your shoulder. You have favor. Yeah? All favor is attached to the new, true you in Christ. It's not attached to the old you in the flesh, which actually is dead. God has not attached favor to a corpse. Yeah? He's attached it to the new life in Jesus that is you, the new true you in Christ. God gives us permission to consider ourselves dead and to be alive to him, Romans 6:11. And favor is attached. It's part of that sense of being alive to God. You are alive to all the possibilities, and you are alive to the favor that is now part of you because it is your birthright. So it's like when you're born again, you know, when a child is born, what do we all do? we all look at the face and everything. Yeah, well, he's got his dad's nose and his mother's eyes. And, we kind of like dissect the face and we say, oh, he looks totally like his dad. We were all doing it when Penelope Violet was born 3 weeks ago, and my third grandchild. And she is just so gorgeous. And we're all doing it. Well, I think she looks like Mark. Well, I think she looks a bit like Sophie at the bridge of her nose. And we're all doing it. What are we doing? We're looking for likeness. We're looking for similarity. Here's the thing. When you were born again with a likeness that is now being established. It's not like, well, I'm this person and I'm trying to become like this one. No, I'm born again. Therefore, I'm already like this person. I'm just growing up into that identity. Yeah, we have our Father's likeness right now. What we're doing is we're abiding in that, and it's growing up in us, and we are growing up into all things in Christ. But you're already in the likeness of God because you're born again, and it is your birthright.
Wow. Wow. I would love to invite Jenny and Teresa to join me to talk about this. For some of you out there, you've never heard this kind of thing before, and I'd love you to drop a comment, or maybe you have. Maybe this is familiar to you. But I love the whole message of being fresh, being new, being a new creation. And so I want to jump into this, Teresa, because first of all, thank you so much for joining us this evening. We feel so blessed to have you here. Tell me a little bit about the whole brilliant philosophy, if you will. Like, what's this all about? And why does this sound different than the things I hear in church?
Yeah, well, I think Graham, he said it when he said that we all have a divine advantage because of our placement in Christ. And that is so powerful because at Brilliant, our placement is our starting place. When you ask Jesus into your heart to be your Lord and your Savior, you become an heir. And you don't have to work for your inheritance. So for us, placement is everything because it's in placement that you learn. And this is what we teach at Brilliant, this is our number one dream and desire for people, is to live a life living in the affections of who God sees you to be. It may not be who we see ourselves to be, especially if we're a new Christian. I know people who have been Christians for 40, 50 years, and they still struggle with the affection of God in their life. We don't want that for anyone ever again, to ever let that be a struggle. If you could only see yourself the way that God sees you, then you could walk further faster. So at Brilliant, our number one joy and delight and desire is to see people living in the affections of God's heart at all times, on your worst day, especially on your worst day, as you do on your best day.
I love that. Thank you. That is so, so powerful. Jenny, I want to talk to you as a parent because I feel this love that, as Teresa just described, the love of the Father, right? I want to talk to you as a parent. It's easier for us to understand if we think of things, at least for me. I've walked in, I've walked in religion, walked in faith, walked in church, and a lot of people in that are taught to avoid sin, right? It's all about the sin and not so much about the good part, the positive. And I equate that to a difference in parenting style, if you will. And as I'm listening to Teresa, I'm thinking this is a difference in parenting style between fear-based parenting and love and nurture-based parenting. And
Sorry,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, that's such a great way to say it, because the notes that I was taking just as for the clip, and as you and Teresa were talking, were how many times have we ever said or heard someone ever say, man, I just have to try harder.
Yeah.
If only I had if only I could believe more. I'm going to pray harder. I'm going to do better. I mean, how many have ever heard that said or said it yourself? I know that I have. And frankly, that's an exhausting way of living, right? It is an exhausting way of living. And why is that so exhausting? And the key here is because you're trying to modify your behavior instead of relaxing and resting and stepping into that placement that Graham talked about that you already have with the Father. To your point, Vanessa, a child who knows that they're well loved will reflect that. They know who they are. They stand secure in their placement, in their family,
Yes.
and they operate. Their belief system operates from that place of rest, security, and assurance. And it's no different for us. When we know our placement, we know what it means for us, not just practically, but we know it in everyday life, in our circumstances, moving forward, that the Father sees nothing wrong with us because he is looking at us through the finished work of Jesus. So he loves us in exactly the same way that he loves Jesus. And if you're saying to yourself, he probably doesn't love me, that's a whole other topic. And I promise you he does. I promise you that he does. You just maybe don't trust it or you haven't experienced it. So what do you need is you need an experience with his love, his unconditional, never ending, unfailing, all consuming love, because that will change your life. I could go on, but I will pause there.
Well, absolutely. And I think that when you can rest in that, it, for me anyway, the stress goes away, the anxiety goes away, all of these like man-made things go away because I can rest in that assurance. So I just love that whole philosophy. So any last comment, Teresa? I know we want to get into the orientation. Jenny's going to share with us a little bit more about this whole thing and about what you experience with Brilliant. But any last thoughts, Teresa, before we jump into the orientation?
Yeah, I just want to piggyback on what Jenny said, because one of the things that we say at Brilliant is that God loves you the same on your worst day as he does on. He loves you because he loves you, because he loves you, because he loves you, because he loves you. And I think, coming back to placement, when you really are secure in knowing your placement, you can go to the Father on your worst day and know that you're going to get loved as well as you do when you go to him on your best day. And so, that's who we are at Brilliant, is we just want to be loved by the Father really well so that we can be the likeness and be the model and bring heaven to earth so people can see, why are they always joyful? Why do they have so much favor? Because if you're a Christian and you are not living in favor, you do not understand your placement. And if you don't understand your placement, I guarantee you, you are not being loved the way the Father wants to love you. And so that's what we love about Brilliant. We tie all of those starting places together so then you can have the outcomes that you desire instead of going after the desire without the starting place. You can't get to the other side of the lake without the boat. So
Love it. Love it. Thank you so much, Teresa. Jenny, I'd love to turn it over to you and let you kind of tell us a little bit more about what this is all about, because there's more to there, as if the teaching's not enough, which it is by itself, but there's much more to this whole brilliant experience.
There is indeed, but wait, there's more.
Yes.
Yes. And so I get the joy and the delight of sharing with you all more about the BrilliantPlus app. And so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you all and share that. Give me just one moment here. Okay. All right. Got to move all of these little buttons that are in my way. So I get to share with you BrilliantPlus. And this is your chance to explore the app's key features and to be equipped to navigate the content in a way that best suits your unique learning journey. Because here at Brilliant, we all relate to God in our own unique way, and we love that about the relational learning and engagement. So please note that this time right now is designed to help you engage with the BrilliantPlus app. However, if you need technical support with login or billing, the best place to direct those questions would be to email our customer support team at help@brilliantperspectives.com. So for the next few minutes, we are going to focus specifically on the content of the BrilliantPlus app and help you get excited about all of the possibilities that are available to you on the app. Because BrilliantPlus is full of kingdom content that's designed to reveal God's nature as kind, joyful, and completely present with us, like we just talked about. And we do that because we believe that transformation happens as we experience his love, not by striving to earn it or trying harder or doing better. And when we experience his love, that's a different starting point with a different outcome than it is if we're striving to earn it. So with this daily app experience, you're going to encounter endless opportunities to practice engaging with God in simple, meaningful ways so that his perspective and his presence becomes your new normal. Simple and meaningful. So today, we're going to share some popular starting points, things that people are consistently loving and using, and then you and the Lord can go from there in deciding where to start and do that together. In just a moment, we're going to explore Brilliant for Sleep, our relational routines, challenges, and if there's time, we'll explore courses and conferences. But we are first going to start with Brilliant for Sleep. This is one of our most popular features in the app. And one of the reasons is that these sleep sessions are slow, gentle audio experiences that are designed to help you end your day with peace, truth, and a sense of being deeply loved. Do you get the theme, being deeply loved? So whether you're falling asleep with racing thoughts or you just want to have a more peaceful rhythm at night, these Brilliant for Sleep sessions are going to create space for you to rest in the awareness of God's presence that is always with you. I have a pro tip for you, and throughout talking about the BrilliantPlus app, I'll have several pro tips for you. So the first one is that some people enjoy listening to our sleep audios in the morning or when they're feeling worried or stressed. They're not solely for sleep. You can listen to them at any point of the day. And because we love to be generous, I'm going to give you 2 pro tips right now. The second one is that these Brilliant for Sleep tracks, there are different audio track lengths, and you can loop the audio. So if you find one that is really resonating with you, you can loop that audio and you can stay there for as long as you like. And at Brilliant, we believe that transformation isn't about trying harder. It's about learning to enjoy the journey with God. And that's the heart behind our relational routines. So rather than having checklists or devotional plans, these are simple daily moments of connection that are designed to help you engage with God's love in very practical and relational ways every day, no matter what's going on for you. Some of the highlights of these relational routines are that each routine runs for 21 days. They're built around a specific theme. One of the examples is Reset to Rest. We also have Anchoring in God's Affections. And every day you'll receive 2 pieces of content. You'll receive a short teaching that's designed to help you connect with God's perspective. You'll also receive a guided session, which is designed to help you become aware of God's presence. These are great for prompts in journaling, for reflection, and prayer. They're invitations to experience how God is walking with you. So if you're looking for a way to practice engaging with God daily, these relational routines are a great place to explore. But sometimes we just need a fresh start. a little spark of inspiration to connect with God in a meaningful way. And that's where our challenges come in. Each challenge is a powerful journey that's designed to help you experience a specific aspect of God's nature and your identity in Him. Here's pro tip number 3. Most challenges are video-based. So they're typically 3 days long and 1 hour on each day. However, if you're looking for a challenge that is a little bit shorter, some of our newer challenges, like praying with God, are actually audio-based. So this makes it really easy to listen to these on the go. If you're going for a walk, driving to work, maybe a bike ride, being able to listen to these on audio make it super simple to take them with you. And people love starting with a challenge because it's simple, focused, and you'll find some practical encouragement for your journey. And you might be noticing that BrilliantPlus gives you access to an ever-growing library of over 350 videos and teachings that are designed to help you explore God's nature and your identity in Him. I hope you all are catching the theme here. It's all about God's nature and your identity to Him in simple, practical ways. And that's what I love about our courses, or they might be called series. They go deeper into specific themes like favor, prayer, or how to think the way that God thinks. And some of our courses are actually extended studies of books that are written by Graham, like The Nature of Freedom. In that course, The Nature of Freedom, he actually walks you through each chapter of the book while gently highlighting some key ideas to explore with God. Okay, pro tip number 4 here. There are PDF activations in the episode descriptions, and you can treat these like a treasure hunt by looking under the descriptions to see if there are activations for each episode. And these activations are designed to help you go deeper and to explore with God. So Transformation Through the Fruit of the Spirit series, that definitely has activations in it. Okay, and now we are going to move to conferences. And our conference sessions are from live events where you can listen in on transformational moments with Graham and the Brilliant community. And here's another pro tip. If you've not ever seen Graham live on stage, it's a very fun experience. You get to see his personality on stage in a way that you may not be able to see that in a Zoom call. He often becomes very animated and extroverted, and his sense of humor comes out. He's got a really great sense of humor. So getting to see his personality in front of a live audience really helps you to engage more with the content and to connect with the content, and specifically about how he's relating to God. And 2 of our most popular conferences are The Art of Thinking Brilliantly and Mind of a Saying, which The Art of Thinking Brilliantly is a standard for myself. It's one of my favorites. And I hope that you have enjoyed that this was a helpful overview for you. And if you are on the 5-day trial, we'd love for you to choose one of the things to explore on the app. You don't have to tackle everything. You can choose one thing and explore that in the app. And subscribing means you don't have to do this journey alone. You'll have ongoing support and daily encouragement and content that will help you live from God's love instead of working for it. Remember how we referenced earlier that you have a different starting point that will produce a different outcome. Thanks again for being here. We're happy to be here with you. And I'm going to go ahead and hand it back to Vanessa.
Thanks so much, Jenny. I really appreciate everything that you shared. It is amazing to me that there's so much content in that app, and often there are just so many things people aren't sure where to start, but I love your recommendation. I love the fact that if you're on that 5-day trial, then you can just dig in and choose one thing. Just start somewhere. That's all that we ask. So in addition to all of this, those teachings from Graham Cooke and all of the information that's in the app and everything that Jenny just shared with us, we also have some something called Brilliant Circles. And so I'm going to invite Bridget on with me to talk about Brilliant Circles. Bridget is the one that heads up Brilliant Circles. She is the biggest cheerleader, but also the one responsible for herding the cats, so to speak, in making sure that all of the facilitators that are all over the world are all on track with what's going on with Brilliant Circles. So, Bridget, for someone just coming in brand new that doesn't know anything about Brilliant Circles, can you tell us what Brilliant Circles are all about?
Sure. Thank you. I love doing this. This is my favorite part of Brilliant. I am responsible for all the community that goes on behind the scenes. And there's a team with me. It's not just me. But we realized that some people need to process together. And I think especially in the world today, there's so much going on that you need to be around people that can support you and just encourage you. So about 2 years ago, we started what was then small groups. It's now called Brilliant Circles. And it is a place where you can come and study something around something off the Brilliant Plus app. It's all based from the app, all of Graham's teaching, some of his books from the teachings. And there are facilitators, which we train once a month. Jenny and Teresa, myself, are part of training that every month. And so there's a group in every time zone, every area that you want to jump in. And it's most of them are Zoom. But it's really, we would love to lead people to Jesus and then we get out the way. But what happens in a small group is you just have that community and support that you need to process some of the material together.
And just like we get different things, we have different takeaways on the videos and things like that. These groups have those types of discussions as well, right?
Yes, absolutely. So we have a study that people have that they can go through together. But of course, you bringing your own interpretation of it and how you're applying it to your situation. So these groups are not times for counseling or for coaching. They really are just for processing together. So the facilitators are not going to be guiding you through something very specific in terms of some personal advice. That's just there to guide you through the material that we've given, which is all from the app, which Graham has written or taught on. And to me, it's when you join the Lord's family, you're learning a new culture. And so when you're learning a new culture, you really need to immerse yourself in the language and the characteristics of that culture. And that's what happens in these small groups. You get in the Brilliant Circles, you get reminded of the kingdom culture that we're trying to instill in everybody. And it's a lot more fun learning with people. And it's just, we have the most amazing stories. I could be here all night telling you the testimonies and the stories of how people have really found their tribe, they found their people, they found the encouragement. And one would think it wouldn't happen over Zoom, but something spiritual happens where they get on and they can't wait to see each other and they share encouragement and hope for each other. And it's just, the Lord has just really partnered with us as we've gone into this whole process. And I think it's a fun place to join.
I think it's awesome that we have this opportunity for community
Sure.
to really bond with other people over shared learning, even though it's an individual journey. It's shared learning in a group environment, which I really, really think is awesome. How often do they meet? Do they meet weekly?
Yes, these all meet weekly, and the study is designed for 60 minutes, but most of the groups meet for about 90 minutes, and that gives them time to just get a bit of feedback from the week before. And there are a couple that are meeting in person, and there's one that actually meets both in person and hybrid. I mean, it's a hybrid one. They meet over dinner in person, and then they move into the living room and they switch on their TV and they connect with a Zoom call. And it's amazing how life just happens in these circles. So you can find them at our website. I believe it's brilliantmovement.com. And there it's like a whole page where you can just check the date and time, the day of the week and the time. And you may jump into a group and the leader is from New Jersey and there's 3 other countries and 4 other states. But we're all around the same purpose of discovering our identity in God and in his nature and learning how to walk in that new nature, which is a new culture of his kingdom. And it's amazing. We may be different ages or different states, even different nationalities, but we're around one theme, and that is moving in our new identity.
I love that. So you don't get assigned to a circle. You get to choose
Yeah,
what
you get
works
to
for
choose.
you.
Yeah, you get to choose. Yeah, there are a few that are by demographic. So there are some that are just for men, some that are just for women. And I think we're going to expand on that a little bit as we get some of the younger generation and they want to have more specific demographics. But right now, you go and choose it by day and time that suits you. And you can do a one jump in and see what it's like. And if you don't feel that's the group for you, you can always try the next week. There's almost 60 groups around the world. Most of them are based in America, but we have New Zealand, Australia, and several in England and a lot in Canada. But they work, the time will be there that they meet. And so you can just figure out what your time zone is. And there's literally there's one at 6 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast, which is 3 o'clock on the West Coast, but that works for some of our European times. So there should be something for everybody, and we're always growing. Every week, last week we had 3 new circles starting. So you can jump in anytime, although they do a study. Most of the studies are 12 weeks long. You can jump in and catch up and go and you can go straight back into the app and listen to what you maybe missed and download the notes. So you're not going to be, lost for it. So
Love that. Love that. Thank you so much,
you're
Bridget, for
welcome.
sharing all of that information. I love the Brilliant Circles. I love the fact that you can come together. There's the sense of community and group learning, but you're still on your individual path. So thank you so much for
Oh,
sharing
sure.
this
You're
evening.
welcome. You're welcome.
There is something else very, very exciting that I want to share with you as well. And I'm going to ask Jenny to jump back on and talk to us about the upcoming event. We've got a fantastic event coming up that people are welcome to participate in, whether they're part of this or not part of this. So I want you to share a little bit about Brilliance 25, the fall edition, and what people can expect with that event.
Wow. Well, Brilliance 25 Fall, it's a 3-day immersive experience. And, much like we've been talking about on this call, Brilliance 25 Fall is really designed to transform your relationship with God in a way that will impact the rest of your life. And, we talked about it just a little bit ago, Vanessa, about how when you know who you are in Jesus, that impacts on the rest of your life. And that's your starting place, and how you can rest as a much loved child and know that your parent, your father, is good and only has good for you. And so that's really what we walk through in this event, because you all might be saying, I have a superpower. I can hear what you're saying, even though it's all muted. You're saying, okay, that sounds great. How do I do that?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a 30-minute to hour call is not enough time to unpack that. But a 3-day immersive experience will equip you to begin that journey of learning how to walk with God, learning what He's really like, and who you get to become as a result of that.
Yeah, I love that. And so who's invited? Who's invited to participate in that event?
Anyone and everyone, and especially those who feel like they have to strive for God's approval, or who feel like maybe they just don't quite, they don't quite measure up. I don't know if anybody on the call has ever felt like, man, I just don't quite measure up to the expectation. I'm going to get spoiler alert. You do. You're already qualified. If you're in Jesus, you are qualified. He met the measuring mark for you. And so now you get to learn how to live in that place of rest and assurance. So it's for anyone who feels stuck in their life, like maybe they can't just move forward, or maybe they're questioning their purpose in life. This is for anyone and for everyone, and especially for those who need to be immersed in His absolute love for you.
I love that. Even people who are questioning their faith, their spirituality, where they belong, what journey they're on, so many questions that people have that you may be afraid to even speak out loud. And that's okay, because this is a 3-day virtual event. We're not asking you to bare your soul to anybody except for God. So we're asking you to participate in that and get what you can out of it. And we believe that you'll get a lot out of it. But it's open. The door is open for everybody, anybody and everybody to participate in that. So thank you so much, Jenny, for sharing that. I think that we have a little clip about someone who participated this spring. So let's go ahead and play that.
All right. Sure thing.
About maybe 2 or 3 hours of listening to the teaching, my heart literally swiped yes and was like, yeah. I'll say that since I've connected to Brilliant, like everything has just changed. Like my life has totally shifted 180, and that's not an exaggeration. And more specifically, my view of life has changed, right? Like everything, the way I perceive things is different. I'm practicing every single day, and I'm actually excited, to face the world, to go into the office, to do what I do on a daily, to interact with other people, because it's like I'm no longer have the pressure of trying to figure it all out beyond today. Now it's like I can't even remember the last time I actually had an anxious or condemning thought about myself. Like Brilliant, just the clarity and the practical truth and the influence to like live from rest and to actually rest in all my circumstances, to pause, to breathe, to allow God to go before me is like my new normal.
Amazing. So if you'd like to learn more about that, please hop on over to brilliance25.com and you can go ahead and learn more about that event that's coming up here October 3rd, 4th, 5th, if I'm not mistaken. So very, very exciting times here. Listen, we have loved having you here with us this evening. We have really enjoyed kind of peeking back behind the curtain, giving you a little taste of what Brilliant is all about. And I have some more information. I promised you that you would hear from Ray Higdon this evening. So if what we're sharing with you really resonates with you and you'd like to hear more about our ambassador program, then please stick around because Ray is going to be joining us and sharing more about that program and how you can join us in sharing what Brilliance is all about. So with that, I want to thank everyone that's been here this evening. Thank you so much, Teresa and Jenny and Bridget, for sharing with us. And please, please join me in welcoming the man, the author, the speaker, the man who brings brilliance every single day, Ray Higdon.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Man, so last week I wasn't on and you guys have tweaked this presentation. It is so amazing. It's so good. You guys are all so good. It's incredible. So just kind of like a quick, recap. This is a kingdom movement for those who want to move. And I believe that we're at a time in our world where there are those of us who want to bring the kingdom on earth and those that are maybe just okay with what's going on and just okay with staying the same. And I think if you were called to be on this tonight, I think maybe you're one of those people that you want to move. You want to move your area, your community. You want to move the world. You want to move your state. You want to move maybe you want to move some of your politicians. I don't know, but you want to move. And there's so many people right now that want to grow in their faith. They want to walk more powerfully with God. They want to understand their purpose. I met with a guy this morning, and he was just like, he'd made a lot of money, and he'd had some different difficulties, and he's just like, man, I just don't understand my purpose. And I just talked to him about what I've learned from Brilliant and getting into prayer, finding out the heart of the Father, understanding that he's worthy and that God is with him and never leave him or forsake him, and just helping him out. And I'm just so grateful to Brilliant of what I've learned to be able to help people with that, and of course help myself. And so just a quick kind of recap. So the movement consists of an app, right? That has you saw Jenny did such an amazing job of walking you through that. The discipleship through Brilliant Circles, right? Just incredible, amazing. And the free tickets to our virtual events. And I want to just point out, you can join the movement by getting back with the person that invited you and getting on a 5-day trial. You can get on a 5-day trial, and that gets you complete access to everything. And it's a really good time to get started because as a member, you get a free ticket to Brilliance, which is coming up here in a couple of weeks. Now, if you're not sure, right? If you're like, I don't know about this, then hey, you can always buy a ticket to the Brilliance event. I promise you that you will be grateful that you did. Or you could join as a member, and just so you understand, you can join as a 5-day trial, and then it's either $47 a month or $397 for the year. And that gets you a free ticket to Brilliance. It also gets you free tickets when we run Limitless Life with God, which is another just amazing, amazing event. And so we do have a ambassador program, and this is currently available only in the United States. But when when Brilliant kind of figured out how much this was helping people, we decided to invest in advertising. And we actually invested over $120,000 in Facebook advertising, and that helped build over 6,000 members in 92 countries. And people absolutely love the program. They absolutely love it. But here's the thing. We'd rather pay you. we'd rather pay you 100,000 than pay Facebook 100,000. I mean, no offense, to Zuck, but we'd rather pay you. We think that'd be way cooler for you to be able to, give to, whatever, do whatever you want with it, right? For you to fund the causes that are important to your heart. We'd rather pay you by helping us get the word out. But I just truly believe that we're at a time when I think there's more people that want to grow in their faith than I've ever seen before, and there's more people wanting to make a difference than ever before, and I just believe we have one of the very best ways to do that, to help you understand that it's not about performing, that you're praying, you're with God, you're praying to God. And I just love the heart of this company and what it is that we're doing to help people really understand their placement with Christ and really understand, what is it that we're called to do here and how to do that. Because it's not about, you constantly trying to fix yourself or trying to earn something. You're an heir. You're already there, right? The last will and testament, right? The New Testament. It's here it is. Just take it, run with it. You're a new creation. Go. And I just did not understand that until I found Brilliant, and I'm just so grateful for it. And so, very quickly, just a little bit on how the ambassador program works. If you do want to help us get the word out, and again, you're in the United States, when you tell anyone about the movement, you're going to be inviting them to a changed life. You're going to be freeing them from the bonds of performance Christianity. You're going to be helping them grow with their Heavenly Father. And we're also going to pay you 25% for anyone that you refer. And that's whenever they pay their memberships. Now, some people pay months. And we also have a pretty robust way of even compensate you on people that they refer. And so it's a really, now, I have been telling people about Brilliant and crafted prayer and the things that I've learned from Graham, without getting a toaster or a merit badge or money, because it impacted my life so much. But we love the fact that we now have the ability to compensate you if you want to run with us, if you want to lock arms with us, tell people about it. And I just think, recent events have more and more and more people wanting to grow in their relationship with God, and we can help them. We know that. Especially, I hope you paid very close attention to the Brilliant Circles part, because that discipleship of you hearing from other people. And guess what? Every single one of us here on the Brilliant team, we have our bad days. We have I mean, you should see Vanessa in road rage. Okay, I'm just kidding. I don't know, right? I don't know if she gets mad or not, but I've seen her perturbed. I think her highest level of anger is perturbed, and so but we're all human, and I can tell you that what I've learned through Brilliant has helped me so much deal with so many different situations that I was just not equipped to handle well in the past. And if that's all I get, then then it's amazing. And so I would just encourage you, if this resonates with you, if you're someone that you are, hey, I want to move, man. I want more people understanding their standing with our Heavenly Father, then I would encourage you to join us. And you can do it in a very safe way. You can join a 5-day trial by getting back with the person that invited you and get on that 5-day trial. You get full access to everything. You can get into a Brilliant Circle. You can get into the app. And if you decide to become a member, you can even attend Brilliance at no additional charge, which is pretty cool. That's what we do for our members. And we would love to have you. And so we just deeply, deeply appreciate you for coming on here. I think, true brilliant style would be pray about it. Lord, are we doing this? That's what we teach you to do. And that's what I do in everything in my life, in every project and anything that I'm doing. I'm like, Lord, am I doing this? And sometimes he's protecting me from my eagerness to do about everything. He said, no, we're not doing that right now. But, it's something that I would encourage you that if you're feeling called to join us, we would love to have you. And we would love to help spread this kind of message to help people out. And so I just really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you for being on here. Thank you, Vanessa, for being the amazing cruise director that you are. And we just deeply appreciate you. So God bless you and your family. And we look